Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this politics and BS.
And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
When you heard that, what did you think? Big sigh.
First of all, I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Charles.
No, Gail.
Charles.
Gail.
You really can't say that because, A, you don't mean that.
I mean that sincerely. I'm going to just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm going to bail myself out and go celebrate. If I
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
First of all, if I was at
that conference, yeah.
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to compare...
It's still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well,
continue.
Some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail. Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
All right, so you heard that was Charles Barkley on the new show that he has with Gayle King called King Charles. It comes on CNN. And they were talking about, which I played the little clip of, Trump saying that blacks are so connected to him more because of him getting arrested, and you know they love to make shirts. They make shirts, and so they're walking around with my mugshot on. It was just beautiful. What the, and this is the type of stuff that makes me. I'm not even upset with Trump because he is who he is. The old cretin is about to be 80 anytime soon now. He is possibly going to be president of this country again. He just won the nomination for the country for the Republican Party, and he's not even a Republican. And that's the thing that just really just makes me so irritated with people. But it is what it is. People want what they want. You know, back in the Bible days, they wanted a king, and God said, "You want a king? I'll let you have a king." And they got what they asked for. So sometimes, like that old saying goes, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. But listen, the reason that I get so irritated when I hear stuff like this is I'm just more upset with people like Tim Scott. The man is a lost cause. He got engaged to his Snow White. And I'm saying it like that because that's exactly what I mean. I don't have an issue with interracial marriages or relationships, but when a person that is self-hating like Tim Scott is, and he is in his 50s, I mean, to be honest with you, I cannot even believe that he's in his 50s. He's got to be in his 60s, but all these years, he has never been in a relationship, and then all of a sudden, he's got a girlfriend, quote unquote, and she is Snow White. They're in the state that I am from and reside in, the state of South Carolina. He's just a fraud. And I'm talking about Tim Scott. We know Trump is a fraud. He is a very wealthy fraud, but Tim Scott is just a fraud living in this black body, almost like the guy from the Chappelle Show who was in the Ku Klux Klan but was blind and didn't know that he was black. Like, it's just ridiculous. And so to hear Trump makes statements like this and he just talks about how much he loves Trump, it's just ridiculous. But he wants that VP seat. And I would be very, very shocked and surprised if he got that VP seat to be the vice president nominee along with Trump being the presidential nominee. But he's bucking and shucking and jiving for that seat. But Charles Barkley, I believe him when he says that if he sees a black person wearing a Trump mugshot t-shirt, hoodie, whatever, that he would punch him in the face. I'm not saying I condone it, but I believe that he would do it because he's got a history of doing stuff like that before. Go and Google it. Go and look it up. But to hear him say stuff like this, and I heard this before Charles Barkley gave his reaction to it, you try not to get angry and infuriated by the darkness that comes out of this dark soul's mouth of Trump, because that's just who he is. I'm just more upset with the people that are so gung-ho supporting him when they know that he doesn't care about anybody but himself. And that's the part that bothers me the most. He does not care about the country and the betterment of it. He cares about his own selfish life. And like Charles Barkley said, the things that he's being prosecuted for are things that he did personally wrong. Whether it was financially with his businesses, whether it was sexual in terms of E. Jean Carroll or Stormy Daniels, and just all of this different stuff. None of that stuff has anything to do with the country. And I am more upset with Trump about the things that he said about military soldiers, because my husband is a veteran that has been diagnosed with PTSD. He has been in war zones in the Middle East for a long time and experienced a lot that I don't even know that he's experienced because he won't tell me about it. And my husband was in Iraq when the base was bombed and Trump was saying this I was about to say something else about, oh, wasn't that big of a deal? You know, some of them, they had some headaches. I'm not even going to go deep into that right now because I don't want this to be a very long episode of this podcast. But the people like Trump, like Charles Barkley said that Trump was speaking to in that room that were black, African American, because honestly, I don't even like using the term black. We're not a color. We, even Caucasians, they're not white. A lot of them, they have different ethnicities, and some of them, they don't know what theirs are. Just like some people who are in this country that have melanated skin don't really know their background, but we're not colors. You never call a person from Greece olive. You don't call Indian people yellow or red. Like, we don't call them colors. Why is it okay to call a Caucasian person and an African American person just, black? We're not colors. But when Charles Barkley said the people that were in that room that he was speaking about, why didn't they get up and leave? Because they've drunk the Kool-Aid. So let me know what you think about what Charles Barkley said about him laying hands on somebody that is, like he said, black, that he sees wearing a Trump mugshot t-shirt. What do you think about what Trump had to say about the blacks, like he said, loving him because he's got a mugshot now? And, they make shirts. They make t-shirts. It's just so cool. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, guys. Thanks so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.